Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor running a whole empire while grieving the death of his wife, sat down and wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." That's not detachment. That's discipline. That's heartbreak with posture. Most of us fall apart over a seen message. He lost the love of his life and still showed up for battle, court, and the chaos of Rome. No long texts, no passive-aggressive subtweets, just wisdom and a whole lot of self-control. Because heartbreak doesn't care if you're royalty or regular. It punches you in the chest, steals your appetite, makes Monday meetings feel like emotional landmines. And yet, the Stoics didn't collapse. They recalibrated. They turned grief into growth. And it's not just ancient history. It's your way out too. This isn't about pretending you're fine. It's about learning how to actually be fine. Stoicism doesn't hand you a tissue. It hands you a sword. Your mind is lying to you. Your brain is wild, like award-winning drama queen Wild. It'll take one small thing, like your ex liking an old beach photo, and turn it into a full-on rom-com sequel that only exists in your head. Suddenly you're thinking, maybe they still care. No, bestie, they just double-tapped while half asleep. Our minds are experts at creating stories that aren't real. Someone doesn't text back. They hate me. Co-worker doesn't say hi. They're plotting against me. One wrong look and boom, your brain's running a whole Netflix series called Everyone's Against Me, starring you. Marcus Aurelius wasn't having it. He said, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it." Basically, it's not what happens, it's how your mind reacts to it. Like that time your co-worker didn't invite you to their birthday party, and you spiraled. You thought, they hate me. I'm not fun. I'll never be invited to anything again. Pause. It's not a party. It's the story your brain wrote about the party. The mind loves drama, but you don't have to buy a ticket every time it puts on a show. Learn to question the script before you act it out. Your peace depends on it. Breakups hit like a hangover. Breakups hit differently. Not like a slap, not even like a punch, more like food poisoning. You don't know what part made you sick, but you're lying on the floor rewatching their Instagram story like it's a clue in some murder mystery. You're zooming in, replaying it, reading between the pixels. Meanwhile, they're out living their best life, and you're in emotional pajamas. Heartbreak feels huge because we think we lost something that belonged to us. But people aren't possessions. You didn't lose them. They made a choice. And you? You still get to make yours. You can choose not to be harmed. That's what Marcus Aurelius said. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. It's like when your sibling borrows your hoodie without asking. It's not about the hoodie. It's about feeling like someone stepped over your line. Same with breakups. It's not just the person leaving. It's the control you feel slipping, the power you think you lost. But Stoicism flips that. What you control is always yours. Your mindset, your peace, your next move. So yeah, your heart might feel like it's been hit by a truck, but the real pain, it's from letting your mind take the wheel. Time to grab it back, heal with grace, rebuild your power. Let their story end while yours continues. If you found this video helpful or enjoyed the content, please give it a thumbs up. It truly helps our channel more than you might think. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. You're not healing, you're addicted. You say you're healing, but you're actually just scrolling. Scrolling through their photos like you're trying to solve a case, refreshing their page, checking who liked their new post, reading their captions like they're secret love letters. Spoiler alert, they're not. You're not healing. You're hooked. It's like checking the fridge over and over, hoping a better snack shows up. It won't. Here's what the Stoics knew. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Translation. You can't control what your ex posts or who they date next, but you can control what you feed your mind, and right now you're feeding it emotional junk food. Your friend might be out here checking their ex's Spotify playlist for hidden messages. Now they're ugly crying to a Taylor Swift song in the office bathroom. That's not strength, that's addiction with a sad soundtrack. Healing isn't stalking with style. Healing is blocking, unfollowing, and going outside for a walk instead of walking through their feed. Your brain is just trying to get its fix, but you've got to break the loop. You won't move on if you keep watching the reruns. Power isn't found in their updates. It's in your decision to stop needing them. So close the tab, put down the phone, and take your mind back. That's real healing. Stop romanticizing ghosts. Your brain is slick. It'll take the worst relationship of your life and wrap it up in slow-mo flashbacks like it's a love story. You'll remember the kisses, not the chaos. The laughs, not the lies. You'll forget how they flaked on plans, left your texts on read, and showed up 45 minutes late without even saying sorry. But you remember the way they looked at you that one time in 2022 like it meant something. That's not love. That's a ghost story you keep replaying. Marcus Aurelius didn't waste time clinging to the past. He said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." So yeah, fear wasting another year stuck in memories of someone who wouldn't even hold the door open for you. It's like your aunt still bringing up her high school boyfriend every Thanksgiving like he's some war hero. Ma'am, he ghosted in 1994. He's not coming back, and neither is that mixtape. Time to stop romanticizing people who vanished. They're not soulmates. They're unfinished business. You're not living if you're constantly visiting the grave of a relationship that already died. Let it go. You can't start your next chapter if your eyes are glued to an old one. Close the book. Real love isn't found in reruns. It's found in right now. Hope is not a strategy. Hope can be a beautiful thing, but sometimes it's just another way to stall. You sit there waiting, refreshing your life like it's a slow-loading app, thinking maybe they'll text, maybe they'll realize, maybe they'll come back. But maybe isn't a plan. It's a trap. It keeps you stuck, staring at a door that's not just closed, it's locked, bolted, and probably doesn't even have your name on it anymore. Marcus Aurelius kept it real. He said to start each day expecting trouble, interference, ingratitude, rudeness. It means stop waiting for the world or your ex to behave how you wish they would. That's not strength. That's fantasy. You hoped your boss would recognize your effort even though you never said anything. You hoped your ex would wake up and see your worth. And now what? You're stuck, emotionally buffering. Newsflash. Unspoken expectations don't move mountains, they just pile up into silent disappointment. Hope without action is like trying to stream Netflix without Wi-Fi. You know it's not working, but you still sit there staring at the spinning circle. It's time to unplug from what's not serving you. Let go of maybe, choose next. That's Stoicism in real life. That's power. Rebuild the void. After a breakup, it's easy to think you just miss the person, but dig deeper. You're missing the inside jokes, the weekend routines, the playlists you built together. And yeah, maybe their HBO Max password too. It's not always about them. It's about the void they left in your life. That space they used to fill with texts, calls, or just sitting on the couch while you both ignored each other scrolling on your phones. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle becomes the way." In plain talk, what hurts can help if you let it. That space where your ex used to be, that's not dead space, that's raw material. You just got a blank canvas. So now what? Your friend broke up with their gym buddy and suddenly gave up on fitness entirely. 6 months later, their yoga mat is a dusty time capsule. But the habit wasn't the person. The brunch spot still exists. That morning jog, the sidewalk didn't break up with you. You're allowed to rebuild what was yours without them in it. Don't retreat, reinvent. Use that pain as your blueprint. You're not replacing them, you're redesigning your life. And this time, you get to choose every piece. Clean the emotional clutter. Emotional clutter is like that junk drawer in your kitchen. You don't need it, but you keep it just in case. Same goes for the photos, texts, and that hoodie that still smells like their cologne. You tell yourself it's just comfy, but deep down, you know, you're not keeping it for the fabric, you're keeping it for the feeling. And that feeling is what's holding you back. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life." You don't need old memories to stay whole. You need clarity, and clarity starts with cleaning, not spring cleaning your closet, emotional cleaning. Your roommate finally deleted that breakup playlist, the one filled with sad songs and dramatic piano ballads, and suddenly, she's dancing around to Beyoncé like the main character. Weird how that works, huh? Every time you keep something that reminds you of them, you're letting the past decorate your present. That photo in your camera roll, that's not nostalgia. That's a trap. Clean it, clear it, free yourself. Because healing starts when you stop hoarding. Breakups are a battlefield. Breakups don't feel like self-care Sundays. They feel like you're fighting your own brain at 2 a.m., gripping your phone like it's a weapon and hovering over, just wondering how you're doing. Delete that draft. This isn't just pain, it's war. And your biggest enemy? The version of you that still wants crumbs from someone who fed you empty promises. That's why Marcus Aurelius dropped a bar for the ages. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Don't match their chaos, outgrow it. Your cousin saw their toxic ex at a party. No drama, no meltdown. Just a calm, "I'm doing great," and a little smile that said, "I'm not the same person you hurt." That wasn't fake, that was power. Stoic power. You don't win the battle by clapping back. You win by walking away stronger, clearer, and quieter. Because peace is the one thing they can't take from you. And when you've got that, you've already won. Use the pain. Pain sucks, but it's not the enemy. It's life's gym membership. You don't want to go, it makes you sore, and there's always someone stronger flexing nearby, but you show up anyway. That's how growth works. Marcus Aurelius kept it simple. Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. He didn't say cry over what happened. He didn't say blame your ex or your boss or the algorithm. He said focus, do what's right. That's the win. Remember that one Tuesday you held it together, heart cracked, eyes burning, but still made that PowerPoint hit. That wasn't just work. That was resilience in business casual. Nobody clapped, but the real trophies are quiet anyway. Pain's gonna knock. Let it in, lift with it, and when it's done teaching, thank it and move. Because you're not meant to be broken. You're meant to be built. And this is the rep that changes everything. Interesting facts. If you come this far, maybe it would be interesting to get familiar with a historical story about Marcus Aurelius and his wife Faustina. Marcus Aurelius was married to Faustina the Younger for around 30 years. She died in 175 AD while accompanying him on a military campaign. After her death, he never remarried. That's why many historians and scholars refer to him as a widower for the last 5 years of his life. Marcus deeply mourned her. He gave her divine honors and had coins minted in her memory. He wrote a lot about loss, grief, and impermanence in Meditations, especially Book 4 and Book 12. Here is a quote from Meditations written in her honor. "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. If you found value in embracing solitude, you need to watch my video on the benefits of having no friends. It breaks down why solitude isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. Click it now and level up your mindset."